Dobar dan or dobro večer, everyone. It's 1 a.m. here. The second semi-final of Pesma's Euroviziju just finished, and we are ready to discuss all 16 of the finalists of this year's edition of Pesma's Euroviziju. My name is Ervin, and joining me for this review video are David, Nick, and Sean. We're going to kick off with Nemanja Radošević and his song Jutra, tebe.
Nemanja's song, it's a really nicely well performed Balkan ballad, but slightly bit more up tempo. There's some really nice swirling red lights that he and his dancers stand on top of. The song itself, I mean, it's okay. I'm not surprised it made the final because I could see the appeal to both jurors and to the casual viewers at home. And it's, you know, the use of black and red in the staging itself was very eye-catching as well. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's certainly nowhere near my favourite day.
Yeah, I love a Balkan ballad. It's no secret. And what I love about Balkan ballads is just the beautiful instrumentation of them and just the melodies. They're just so kind of inspiring melodies, right? I always find, and the lovely strings and the other types of kind of classical instruments that goes into it. And this is no different for me. I really like it. It's really well sung and performed. As Nick said, it's not just kind of your typical kind of slow ballad. It does have a bit of a pulse to it, which again is welcomed. Some people might disagree with me, but for me, it sounds a lot like kind of your Shelko songs from 2012, etc. That kind of massive, just epic feel to them. I love how it builds throughout, but no, honestly, a really well performed song. Not surprised at all it qualified, and look forward to seeing it again in the final.
Jutra, tebe, out of 10. Nick?
6 from me.
Sean?
5.
I quite enjoyed this one. I'll give it an 8. David?
I will also give it an 8.
We continue with Hristina and her song Bedem. When I listened to Bedem the first time, it didn't really catch my attention so much. It just sounded like a very pleasant ballad that I can listen to in the background whilst doing literally anything else. But I was so pleasantly surprised with her live performance. It was so captivating. It was so minimalistic, but so effective. And she sung it so beautifully with a lot of emotion. The only thing that I can say on the negative side of this one is that sometimes she seemed like she's too focused on where she needs to go, what she needs to do, and a couple of times she lost the sight of the cameras. But apart from that, it really looked and sounded amazing. When she was lifted up in the air and she still managed to sing it perfectly, I don't know, I was just really positively surprised by this one, and I was super happy that she made it to the final, as she definitely deserves her place there, and I'm pretty sure that she's actually going to go quite high with this one.
When I listened to Bedem for the first time, I wanted to go to bed. That song for me just is it's a cue to put the kettle on. I'm sorry, it's a sleeping pill. The staging reminded me a lot of Elena Nechayeva's Remedy. However, it didn't bring the best part of that staging, which was when Elena Nechayeva fell. And I don't know what I was waiting for. Yeah, the staging is better than the song, but you know, you can take a sleeping pill and decorate it with all sorts of colors and patterns. It's still a sleeping pill, in my opinion.
No offense, Sean, I think we're all glad that she didn't fall. Let's score it out of 10. I'm gonna start with an 8. David?
I think she sang it beautifully. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Nick?
It was very nice, but the song in the studio is just a solid 5. Sorry.
Sean?
She sang beautifully, but that's worth 4 points for me.
We continue with Džordži and Luna Park.
Yes, I really like this song. Another one that really stood out, and it wasn't one that I kind of caught my attention on first listen when I first heard it when the songs got released, but it was the one I kind of found myself coming back to, which I quite liked. And actually, I think that works really well with the Eurovision song because it's not just about what the viewer enjoys in the 3 minutes, but it's about what stays in their head, and it's what kind of stands out in the recap clips when they listen at the end of the show. I think the performance was okay. It was a little bit messy. Kind of, you could see all the kind of influences coming into there. It was a bit kind of, I don't know, hippie, dreamer, and it was just a bit weird sometimes on stage. But the song itself, really well sung again, well performed, great beat to it, really catchy. Yeah, solid entry. I don't think it will do very well in the final, to be honest. But I'm really glad he showed up, and glad the song, the performance was good as well. So yeah, good for me.
This was actually one of my favorite songs ahead of this second semi-final. And I was really looking forward to seeing how they're going to stay into this, how this is going to be performed, etc. And I expected flawless vocals because I know that he recently competed in a talent show and he did quite well in it. And to be fair, he did bring the vocals as expected. I did not understand the staging whatsoever. And I felt that it was like heavily inspired by Dihaj and Skeletons from 2017. But from the very beginning, like I was thrown off because that kiss at the beginning and the wiping of the lips was, in my opinion, completely unnecessary. And also, like when he spoke to the green room host Hristina in the after the performance, I just felt like he's way too horny for his own good. And it kind of ruined the impression for me a little bit. I still love the song. The only thing about the song, in a bad way that I can say, is it's not catchy enough, but it's super well produced. It's very nicely sung, and it's just a really good song. Out of 10, David?
I mean, I'm all for sexual liberation, so I'm going to give it a 9.
Nick?
I will give it a 6.
Sean?
It was an upgrade, but it's a 5.
I'll go with a 7. We continue with Bojana and David and their song No, No, No.
I really, really like this song. When I heard it the first time, I thought it was the summer hit from this lineup, and I still think it is. Flawless vocals, competent choreography, but I didn't like the theme and the motif of the staging. I felt like we were at the gym with all of that latex tracksuit, not tracksuits. It was kind of like, you know what I mean, latex. And I just didn't think, in my mind, I don't match summer hit to latex in the gym. And I was kind of thrown off by that styling and the staging, so much so that this went down for me a little bit. But it's, if this goes to Eurovision, which I don't think it will, but let's say it does, I think they have potential because they can dance, they can sing, and the song is there. So the necessary ingredients are there. We just need to get a whole new wardrobe and maybe a workshop as well. But it's middling.
When you have a trashy Balkan bop like this, I always worry it's going to be a no, no, no. But it was definitely a yes, yes, yes from me. It looked fantastic. Okay, I mean, the latex, you're right, Sean. It was giving Katie Price 2005 UK national final without the pregnancy, I must add.
Yes.
The choreo was very on point. It was really, they made a really good use of the stage. There was always something interesting going on. You had like the chairs, I know because they were cheap office chairs probably, the mirror, lots of good old Eurovision cliches all in one video. A lot of fun, it had a lot of energy. It's just enjoyable. I like the studio, I loved it here. Should it go to you? Probably a bit too cheap for Eurovision, but I will keep it as that summer hit even if you don't.
I just have to add that from what I remember, this is the first time since about like 2008 that we have a male artist who can sing and dance at the same time with like a proper choreography. So I'm happy to see that, and well done to David for that. Let's score no, no, no out of 10. Sean?
6.
I'll go with a 9 for this one. David?
I like his name. I'll give it a 7.
Nick?
No. It's a 999.
We continue with M.IRA and Percepcija.
What I love about the Serbian national selection this year and previous years, there's such a good array and selection of contemporary, up-tempo pop songs that you would actually hear on a radio, right? And if I was on holiday in the Balkans or in Serbia, I would probably hear loads of songs that sound exactly like this one on Serbian local radio. I do have to say, though, I'll commend the live performance. I did think that actually she elevated it in the live performance, but the actual song in studio, sadly, is not one of my favorites. I said there's such high competition with those kind of contemporary up-tempo numbers, and this one, I don't know, it just didn't really kind of cut the mustard fully for me. It just felt, again, a bit middling, but I do feel that she gave it her all in the live performance, so props to her and the team for that.
Turn that into points. David?
So I'm going to be a little bit harsh, so I am very sorry. I'm going to give it a 3.
Nick?
I thought I was being harsh. 4.
Sean?
3.
I'll continue the trend. 4. We continue with Zejna and her song Najbolja.
Yeah, well, I nearly didn't see this because the RTS YouTube link was a screw up tonight, but I have gone back and watched the wonderful Zejna, and I'm really pleased I did, because I was also concerned, because it was such a big performance, that the vocal might be a bit on the ropey side, but it was really, really good. Actually, I was really impressed. It was obviously Zovi got black and red with the staging. It wasn't a particularly interesting staging, I thought. It was all quite static, even though she had like the dancers around her in the same colours. It just wasn't particularly visually engaging for me. I just felt like I was watching pretty much the same thing for the whole 3 minutes. But the song itself is great. I love it. It's actually one of my favourite songs from the selection. It's just a shame it's probably not that competitive, given that there's so many big hitters in such a strong field. So good performance, but disappointing staging.
I agree with almost everything that you said, because my expectations for this one were huge. And I expected her to literally set that stage on fire, and I was left a little bit disappointed as that did not happen. I expected her to be a lot more engaged with her dancers, to have like a more proper choreography that's going to work with the entire song. I don't know, I expected fire everywhere, I expected great visuals, and this is the thing that I didn't get. However, the things that I did get was an amazing vocal performance as expected from Zejna, and it's been already quite a few hours since we heard that song, but in my head I still have Zejna and Najbolja Zejna. And the first time I listened to this song as well, literally I couldn't get rid of that hook in the chorus for like days, and like randomly I just go to my kitchen, make myself a coffee, and like in my head it's Zejna and Najbolja Zejna. So I'm super happy that she's in the final, and if she can change anything in that performance in these 2 days, I hope that she does it, and I hope that it improves her performance, because that's also going to improve her chances to finish higher. Out of 10, Nick?
9.
Sean?
8.
I'll give it a 9 as well. David?
A 7 for me.
Next up, we have Konstrakta with Novo, bolje.
This is incredible. This is a Eurovision winner. This is so smart and so intelligent, to the point that it makes me almost question why the world isn't on the same level as Konstrakta's performances. I always liked the song. Well, actually, let me take it a step backwards. I always liked Konstrakta. I'm a huge fan. I met her, and I'm so proud of it that I try to mention it every time I get the opportunity to do so. And she's the same person off camera that she is on camera. She's smart, she's witty, she's an inspiration, and she's an artist that elicits respect. And I find that quite rare these days in the music industry. But before I zone out, Novo, bolje. The song for me is actually better than Incorpore Sano, I think. It is more immediate, it has more potential for streaming success, and Konstrakta songs are not known for streaming success, but they're more known for performance. And this to me is just the best of every world we could possibly live in. I didn't know what to expect with the staging, but whatever expectations I had, she she just always goes a step further. Who knew that she was just gonna come back with the same staging to create that irony of what the song is about? The song is about a materialistic world where we're constantly looking for something new, even though we have things that make us comfortable and that are the basic stuff that we have. We're constantly looking for something new and something better. And here she is, Godstrakta, giving us the same staging. What a better way to bring home the message of this song. I really, really, really need this in Malmö, and I need this to win Eurovision. I really, really just give her the crown already. She is on another level. She's an artist, and I feel like even if she doesn't win, she will still probably sleep that night. But she's just on another level, and she's a role model, and we need to reward role models like Konstrakta.
I see David is ready to disagree with everything that you said.
Oh dear, where do I start? Look, no, I can't. I'll give it to her. I am not a fan of the song, and I'll talk about that in a second. But there's no doubting her intelligence, and she does what she does best is performance art. Whether I like the song or not, you have to give the commendment for the actual performance on the stage. And look, the meaning of the song obviously has a lot of depth to it, and I think the perfect application of that to the staging to replicate, as you say, replicate the 2022 efforts with her song Then. Fantastic, right? You can't get past that. That is genuinely actually quite staggeringly clever and quite enjoyable. But if I actually talk about the song and talk about the lineup, and I talk about what I want to represent Serbia, not just in Serbia, but at a pan-global competition like the Eurovision Song Contest. And do I want an absolute rerun of something from 2 years ago? No. Serbia has got such a blossoming musical industry, and in the past couple of years, we've really seen actually how far the national selection has come in, let's say, just 5 or 6 years, right? From when it wasn't always great to now, it's just a fantastic lineup of contemporary hits. And yes, there's a place for this song in the Serbian national selection, but do I believe that it should go back to Eurovision and rob somebody else that can so perfectly represent the Serbian music industry on a global stage and platform? Then I have to say no. I think that she's had her opportunity. I don't agree that this is a step up from her last song. Unfortunately, I do think it's not as catchy, it's not as immediate, it's not as intense. Well, different levels of intensity, but it's not as intense as 2022. So I love that you're so enthusiastic and passionate about it, and I'll never take that away from you. But for me, I just don't want this at Eurovision, to be honest. I think it's fine in the context, but as I said, give someone else a chance.
Let's turn that into points. Sean?
It's a perfect 10.
For me, it's a perfect 9. David?
For me, it's a perfect 4.
I didn't like it before particularly much, but she was fantastic tonight. She sold it. And I really disagree that anybody who comes back robs anybody else of anything. I think everybody has a chance to come back, and if the public want her to go, she should go. I give it an 8.
Song number 8 is going to be Moje-tvoje, performed by Milan Bujaković. So this is the third time that Milan Bujaković is entering, and in my opinion, this is the best of the three songs that he competed with. It's still not entirely my cup of tea, but I enjoy this one a lot more than the previous two. And it's much better put together as a song, this one. That's how I felt. Milan sung the song perfectly, same as his previous two entries. But the thing that separates this one from the other two is they actually made like a proper staging, a proper concept. And the song is, I don't know, I feel like it's much more radio friendly as well, in a way, than his previous two entries. And it just really looked nice on the screen. And I was not surprised whatsoever that he qualified tonight, because he really gave a great performance. I loved the visuals. I loved his interaction with the dancing girl on stage as well. And he's not going to probably end up in the top half of the scoreboard, but regardless of how he does, I'm glad that he's in the final.
I found it really hard to even start to consume the song, because I find it really jarring. I don't connect with the melody at all, and I find it rather dated. And because of that inability for the song to make me consume it, it's like I start listening to it, but either I go to something else or I just zone out. And yeah, maybe it's a little bit unfair, but really, if you can't have me with the first listen, full listen, what's left of me? I'm really sorry, but this isn't it for me.
Let's score it out of 10. I'll kick this off with a 7. David?
Down the middle, I'll give it a 6.
Nick?
It's okay, a 5.
Sean?
I'm about to get booed, but it's a 2.
Next up, we have Teya Dora with Ramonda.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of the song of hers that went viral last year, Shanum. I loved it, actually, Moye-tvoje. Beautiful song. And this, I had really high hopes, honestly, for the song and performance. And I have to admit that I don't think it's as good as that song last year. But having said that, I think her voice is incredible. I thought she really elevated it again in the live performance, and I just think there's a real kind of it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Completely aware of that, but I listen to a lot of music like Lana Del Rey and your kind of I guess like your sad girls, right, and your sad girl music, Lizzie McAlpine, etc. And for me, this is kind of like the Balkan ballad version of that type of music. It's really artistic. I said the lyrics are beautiful. Performance was incredible. The shooting purple lights around the stage actually gave me goosebumps, and that's the first time I've got goosebumps on any Serbian performance this year. I really, really love this song. It's whether or not it goes to Eurovision is not up to me, but it will always definitely be one that I listen to for many years to come. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly sold on it before from the studio version. I've got to say though, when I was pretty captivated by the whole 3 minutes. It was gorgeous, to be honest with you. The beautiful beginning where it sort of sweeps in from the sea, sort of like from VT onto her. All of the camera angles and the imagery are really, really nice. You know, it just felt there's not particularly that much going on, but the way it sort of like develops and you know, the staging just tends to sort of emanate from her, and the way she ends the song is absolutely incredible, to be honest with you. So I have upped my score having watched it. She's a really impressive performer. I've never seen her live before. I'd like to see her come back with something just maybe a bit more that would be competitive at Eurovision. I'm just not convinced that in the semi-final it's in. I mean, it probably would qualify, but it just doesn't strike me as in the Eurovision final it's been particularly competitive. But yeah, she was incredible.
Ramonda out of 10. David?
Yeah, I don't think you need to have loads of music and fireworks to be competitive at Eurovision, and I'm going to give it a 10.
Nick?
Yeah, I was going to give it something lower, but I've upped it to a 6.
Sean?
a huge grower for me, and the performance was mesmerizing. I'm gonna give this a 9.
It's not my cup of tea, and as we're all voting very subjectively, I'll do the same, and for me, this is a 6. The 10th song is going to be Zbog tebe živim, performed by Dušan Kurtić.
I really like the studio version of this. It gives me folk dinner party in a Balkan country where everyone is eating the best local food, and then halfway through the desserts, people start getting up and dancing, and yeah, that's the imagery I was getting with this song. And I got a lot of stick for saying I liked it because apparently the guy is not allowed to have a Serbian accent on his English lines. So I have no problem with it, but I got stick for saying that I liked it, even though some people thought his accent was Serbian, which is what it's supposed to be, because guess what? He's Serbian. I really liked this. I was disappointed to find out that there was no folk dinner dance on the stage performance. I was hoping there would be at least a table and some chairs and some women in skirts, and I don't know. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah, I felt the staging was a miss, and even the styling with the whole leather. No, it was a mismatch. It was inappropriate, not in a way that it was X-rated, but it was not, you know, it was not appropriate for the theme of the song, in my vision. I'm happy it made it to the final because I love the song, but I guess my love for it ended tonight.
I just need to add that the English lines have to go. They don't match the song, in my view.
It's fine, we can take them out, but there's
Yeah.
nothing so wrong with them, you know? I feel like it's cringy in a way that's accessible.
Well, let's turn that into points, Sean.
It's a 6.
For me, it's a 5. David?
I'm gonna give it a 3, I'm afraid.
Nick?
A 6.
We continue with Zorja and Lik u ogledalu.
I'm not going to go Sean Konstrakta over the top on this. It's so good. I love it so much. I really liked it when I first heard it. It's for a ballad to be impactful for me, it has to have a lot of it has to have sort of like, it has to move to. I really don't like sort of like flat ballads, but this was constantly evolving. There was so much going on. You thought you'd heard everything, something else happened. It's an incredible song, and then watching her perform it live, it was sensational. She's got such a beautiful voice. The stage performance relies quite a lot on the use of mirrors, where the dancers are holding the mirrors. She looks into the reflection. You can see a reflection of a reflection. It looks quite good on the camera, but then you have the large images of her sort of in the background as well on the on the back screen, and some of it I'm not 100% sure on in regards to whether it works as a concept or not, but I just, that's very small nitpicking from where I'm concerned. It's an incredible performance. This would be so nice to have at Eurovision. I really hope you pick it, Serbia, please. Thank you.
I think that the thing with the reflections is because the song is called The Image in the Mirror, and she's asking in the song, whose image is that in the mirror? I felt that she literally gave a singing lesson to all the contestants of Pesma's Evroviziju, and she couldn't have sung that better if she tried. Like, I hardly ever get goosebumps about any national selection songs. With this one, I had in one particular moment before the final chorus, when you can just see her on the side when she starts singing Koje lik u ogledalu together with the backing vocals. That was just like winner alert for me. I love that they kept the entire staging so dark that everything was black and you could only focus on her face, her reflection in the mirror, and again, her face in the backdrop. And should she win, I hope that they keep this entire staging and that they're going to do it exactly the same way in Malmö, because if they manage to do that, people are going to mostly focus just on her face, the way that she sings, and just how powerful she sounds and looks. So that's not going to leave anyone indifferent. And I feel that even though ogledalu might not be the best song choice for Eurovision, but Zorja elevates it in the way that she might be the right choice for Serbia for Eurovision. Out of 10 for ogledalu. Nick?
I'm going to give it a 9, and the bit when she takes the wig at the end, I should have said, it's also amazing, really stunning.
Sean?
Huge upgrade for me with the live performance as well. This is an 8.
For me, it's also a 9. David?
Yeah, this song is actually incredible. Performance incredible. I'm going to give it a 10.
We continue with Lena Kovačević and her song Zovi Lena.
And this performance is just iconic in every way possible, right? She is serving up something incredible on that stage. She looks a dream. The staging with the big moon is a dream. And her voice is also really enticing. There's just something so seductive about her performance that just really draws you into it. And I, to be honest, didn't really think about Lena Kovacevic's song in studio when the song got released, but that live performance was just captivating. She is just an icon, a legend, a hero, incredible. Really loved it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, David. I agree. I think the styling was great. I loved the little turban on her head, and I know someone disagrees with me because we discussed it during the live blog. I think the staging worked. I liked the moon. It definitely made Blas Canto look pedestrian. But the song gives me spa. It's like that music I would hear in a spa. That's supposed to calm me down. That's supposed to relax me. And even though that's not a negative thing, we tune into Eurovision to feel something other than relaxation and calmness. And who knows, it could be a good filler between bangers, but I don't think that's why Lena is in Pesma za Euroviziju. So yeah, I agree with most of what you said, David. The one thing I'm going to disagree with is I would reserve the words icon for Konstrakta.
Lena Kovačević out of 10. David?
Queen. I'm going to give this a 7.
Nick?
I must have been watching something else. It was a bad Amanda Tina tribute act with the moon rising. 5.
Oh,
Sean?
it's a 5, but yes.
For me, it's a 7, but the turban needs to go. Four songs to go. We continue with Marko Mandić and Dno. This was obviously the opener of the first semi-final, and I thought that this was going to be an amazing opener. And then a whole bunch of things happened on stage, of which I understood nothing. I didn't understand why it starts as an American talk show, why it turns black, and then why is there a hairdresser on stage, and why is there someone who comes to take out his ear monitoring from his ears so that then he starts singing out of sync. Didn't understand any of that. The entire staging for me was an absolute mess to a pretty good song. The song is very catchy. He performed it well. He performed it well up until like the minute and a half when he started singing out of sync. Then it made no sense. And at first I thought that what was happening was that he's actually having some technical issues. But then when I rewatched it, I noticed what happened. I don't know, that's really ruined the impression of the entire song, the performance for me. It's still a good song in studio. He qualified for the final. He's going to get a chance to do it right. I hope he does. And in case he does, he's probably going to do it quite well, as this is one of the most in my view, most radio-friendly songs for the Serbian market, and it's going to become a huge hit. Also, it has quite a deep message, but what was with that staging? Like, really?
Can I just add something really quick out of my wardrobe of imaginations? I imagined this to be the theme song to the start of Frozen when they were cutting the ice. Yeah, I was getting that kind of sailor, like, I don't know, impression. But the staging, as you said, was a complete disaster, and I completely agree.
Let's score Dno out of 10. I'll start with a 6. David?
Amateur and cringy. I'm giving it a 4.
Nick?
There's a good song in there somewhere. If you could sing it, 6.
Sean?
It could have been higher, but for me, it's a 6 as well.
Next up, we have Iva Lorens with Dom.
Oh, I had so many mixed thoughts about this one. It was, I mean, the song I really liked. I liked her performance, but what on earth is going on with that staging? It's horrendous. She starts off in some sort of, I think it's a house. She's in some sort of room where she just happens to wander out of, and then like the rest of the staging is, what's the story here? It's completely incoherent. No, she rides around on the floor a bit. Someone please explain the concept of the staging to me, because it's a wonderful, huge stage they've got in the RTS studio, and basically her and her dancers just wandered around aimlessly for 3 minutes. It was a shocking performance. But I'm pleased because the song is amazing, and you know it would have pleased any sub who was looking for their Dom tonight.
I'm so glad you like something about this, because I don't. I never liked the song to begin with. This is a lot of people like this song. I never. Again, it's a bit like someone else I talked about whose name I can't remember. It takes a lot for me to consume this. The staging was what was that? What was that? And to me, the most baffling part, not the song, not the staging, the most baffling part is that disqualified. But you know, I might be known for some things, but not for making predictions in Serbia. So I'm not surprised. No, this is a no. But someone has to fill out those bottom ranks in the final, and maybe we found one.
Dom out of 10. Nick?
Oh, I thought I was charged a 6.
Sean?
A generous 3.
I thought she was one of the best ones of the second semi. I'll give this an 8. David?
Hey.
A star is born. I'm going to give it a 9.
Wow.
Second to last act is Breskvica with Gnezdo Orlovo.
So there was a lot of hype. Probably the most hype of all the artists was for Breskvica, right? And I don't think anybody saw her on that lineup and expected her to bring anything that wasn't a 10 out of 10 incredible entry. So I was a little bit disappointed when the song's released, and I don't really believe this is a 10 out of 10. I'm not saying it's bad. It's the type of music I enjoy listening to. I love this kind of ethnic kind of drums that are added in, the instrumentation again. It's what I love Serbian music for. And she sings it really well as well. I think the staging it just felt quite old, right? I think this is something that we maybe would have seen at Eurovision in like 2005, honestly, with the staging, the way she was presented, the way the kind of, it just all came together. Look, I think this would be a decent entry. They do send it, and I understand why they could, because she's such a big name. But am I disappointed? Yes, unfortunately. But I did like the bagpipes, and I don't normally say that, so well done to them.
I know that a lot of Eurovision fans, and especially Serbian Eurovision fans, are gonna hate me for saying this, but I felt that the entire song and the entire performance were absolutely fake. I felt that the way that they were writing this song was, let's just put everything into it that we feel that a Serbian Eurovision song should have, and tick all these boxes, like dramatic moment, tick. We're gonna add some ethnic elements, tick. We're gonna put something traditional like an eagle into the song title, into the background, tick. We're gonna have a singer in all white who's gonna sing this song perfectly, tick. And this is what they ended up with. I feel that there's just no soul in this song, and in a way, Breskvica said herself in one of the interviews that they did in the green room that this is normally not the type of music that she's performing, but she also added that this is the kind of music that she feels that she should be performing. And the same type of like enlightenment one Hungarian singer had quite a few years back. It was Gabi, when she tried to represent Hungary back in 2018-19, I don't remember by heart, where she's a rock singer and she also came with something very Hungarian ethnic. And it just doesn't work. She didn't win. I hope that Breskvica is not going to win with this either, because the song, for me, is a little bit all over the place. It just doesn't all match together. There's not that much substance, and it's trying to sound much, much better than it actually really is. So this is just, for me, this is fake. Out of 10, David?
I mean, I still like it. I'm going to give it an 8.
Nick?
I like it, but most of her other songs are much better than this. 8.
Sean?
I love it. This is what I come to Eurovision for. But yeah, it's an 8.
For me, this is a 4. Last but not least, we have Kenini Emertav with Diamanti.
Yeah, so we finish off with a 3-piece boy band, I guess you'd call them, trio. They're mildly attractive, I guess. The song's mildly interesting. It was not sung particularly well, which surprised me, as in the fact that it progressed, but I guess it has its demographics. The staging was, I guess, what you'd expect from a 3-piece group on stage, with a set of drums and and a guitar. There's this really weird bit at the end. I won't try and reenact it too much, but there's like this giant like robot woman going like this. It's all, it's just really like strange staging to me. So the song itself, I quite liked it in studio. It's quite modern. I think you probably would hear it on the radio, but I do question the fact that it's taken out a slot in this final, because there were lots of other songs that didn't get through that I thought would be a lot better than this. But yeah, it's okay. They're mildly attractive.
Diamanti out of 10. Nick?
6.
Sean?
4.
8. David?
I'll just say 6.
As you can see, the runaway favorite of the 4 of us is Zorja, who scored 36 points, and she's followed by Zejna in 2nd place, who scored 33. And we ended up with a 3-way tie for 3rd place between Bojana and David, Konstrakta, and Teya Dora, who all scored 31. Now, this is all based on our personal thoughts and opinions, but let's try and predict who's actually going to win Pesma's Euroviziju on Saturday and go on to represent Serbia in Malmö.
Yeah, I think the winner is going to be Zorja.
On performances alone, I would definitely, and I hope Serbia will pick Zorja, but I do have a sneaky suspicion that Breskvica could win, but I will stick with Zorja.
Very interesting. I would love to see, obviously, someone new, and I think that from the people who've never won, I think Teya Dora has the best chance, actually. But we can talk all we want. Konstrakta is the leagues and years above of everyone, is head on shoulders winner. And prediction wise, I think it will be down to Teya Dora and Konstrakta. I think it's gonna be Konstrakta.
From the first time when I heard all of the songs, I really wanted it to be Zejna, but after seeing all of the live performances and everything, I'm more convinced than ever that the winner is going to be Teya Dora. Thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comment section below whether you agree or maybe disagree with any of our thoughts and opinions, and I know you would disagree about some. And also let us know how you would score each of these songs out of 10. Also, visit escbubble.com to be up to date with all Eurovision news and to follow all of our live blogs and check out all of our interviews. I want to thank David, Nick, and Sean for joining me for this video. We're going to see you very soon with our next reaction video, and in the meantime, enjoy the final of Pesma's Euroviziju. Bye, everyone.